Hi, in this video we will be talking about Laravel routes. We can create any kind of different Laravel routes for all our get, post, put, patch, delete requests, and it is very simple to create those routes as well in Laravel. We can follow along with the documentation provided by the Laravel website or to learn how to create different routes. But in this video I will be giving you a small list of things or small snippets that can help you out to creating different kind of routes. First, let's discuss what are the different kind of routes that are available for us. These are the different routes that we can use in Laravel: the get request, post, put, patch, delete, and options. I'll just comment those for a moment before proceeding to actual route creation, and then I'll give you a small example of our first route that we are going to create. This is what we are doing is we are creating a get request for the route endpoint clients, and it is going to return a customer list string. So once we have created this particular endpoint, let me save this file and go back to the browser, and let me open the client's URL, and here we can see the endpoint is working perfectly and it is showing us the customers list as the string. The other thing that we could do is return a view file when certain endpoint is called. For this we just need to do one different thing. Firefox, sorry, program, I need to restart my Firefox, sorry. We're back, and now let's go back to the routes web.php file, and let me paste another route over here. And again we are trying to call the same endpoint clients over here, but this time we are trying to return a view that list clients. Let me comment the previous route, and here what we are doing is we are getting a route, we are calling this clients and then returning a view list clients. So first we need to create a view by the name of list_clients, and for this we will go to resources and then views folder, and here we're going to create a new file. We're going to name it list.clients.blade.php, and here I could simply write create a complete HTML5, and here I'm gonna write the title as list of all clients. Here I can give a heading of list clients followed by a table which actually gives us a name of all the clients. Followed by, let's add another tr and td, and let's say Ani. Copy, paste, Mike, Steve, and let's save this file and go back to the browser. And now if I open this endpoint again, clients, here what I'm getting is a table with my name and a name list with all those entries that we just did. Let me give it a border so it's more visible. Oops. Table style border 1 pixel solid. Let's go back over here, refresh it. Oops. And here we have a nice border to it. Similarly, what we could do is The next thing that we could do with while working with routes is, instead of giving it directly a link of an HTML or a blade file, we could also give it a link to a controller method. To do this, first we need to create a client controller, and then with this particular step we can link that particular method to this endpoint. Let me do it for you. First we need to create a controller. For this we need to type a command, php artisan make controller client controller. This will create a controller in our app Http controllers. Here we have this client controller. So here in the client controller, I'm going to create a new method by the name of index. I'll just public function index, and here it is going to return just a h1 tag and list of all clients. I'll save it again, go back to my web.php. This is again in the routes folder, and here routes get clients. Now first what we did was, the first method here in this particular example, we were directly calling a list, or we were directly calling a string when the endpoint client was made. In the second example, we were returning a view when somebody visited the same endpoint. And in this third example, what we are trying to do is to call a controller method when certain endpoint is called. There are different advantages of all those things, but generally you would be using the third method in most of the cases, because this is the way actual development works. We create an endpoint and then we basically connect it to a controller method. So here we are connecting again to a controller method, client controller, and the index is called. Let me save this, go back to my browser and then refresh this. Now it says list of all clients. In this particular case, what's happening is when this client endpoint is called, it is taking us to app HTTP controller client controller class client controller, and index method is called whenever this endpoint is called. Let's go back to the client controller, and here we can see that we are returning a list of all clients. What else we could do is simply comment this return this block and directly return a view from here, and we could simply do the same thing, return view, and here the view name was what we have created in the previous step. Let me copy it again, resources views list underscore clients. Now we save it, and now what we are doing is we have connected that particular endpoint to a controller first, and then from the controller we are calling the view. Let me save this, let me go back over here and let me refresh. Now we are again getting the same view, but there are certain advantages of using let me show you. Let me go back to the web. There are certain advantages of using this route as compared to this particular way of creating different routes. When we are using a controller method, we could send some data directly from the controller to the view as well. Let's quickly see how we can send data from a controller to the view. So here we are in the client controller. Let me create a variable over here, and it says the title should be list of all clients. This could be any MySQL query or anything, but here we are just creating a title that we are creating in the index function, and here we could send title to the view this way. I simply save this. I'll just go back to my list clients, and here in the heading tag text I'll just remove them and simply type the blade and write title, save it, go back to my browser, refresh it, and now I can see list of all clients that is coming from our controller to the view. We are actually sending some data from the controller to the view. If you think about an actual project, generally what we are going to do is we are going to make a query over here, and my SQL query is going to return a list of clients, and then we are going to send a list of clients from this particular controller to this particular view, list clients. So here we were discussing about the GET request that we could do from with the help of Laravel. In the next video we would be discussing more about the other kind of routes, mainly put, post and delete.